see what happens.
Probably get more money out of them.
I think that clock is behind. Kelly, it's a couple minutes after.
Is it?
Yeah, that one. All right, we gotta adjust. These old guys gonna act like Derek's gonna have to reach out.
We'll call this March meeting of the Park and Recreation Commission to order here. My name is Kelly Rosecrans, and we'll just do a round the table self-introduction here. I'll begin on my right with the mayor.
Mayor Zach Ruling.
Jackie Shea,
Matt Heidemann.
Colleen Dickman, Dawn DeSorcy.
Greg up.
Derek Johnson. Thank you. We have other guests here today too, and welcome him. Our first order of business is to approve actually it would be the February meeting minutes. That meeting was held, however, March 12th due to just some timing things that we couldn't get together in February. So motion made by Colleen, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Jackie to approve the February meeting minutes held in March. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Both? Ayes have it. Next order of business, approve the lease agreement with the Rapid Fire Fastpitch for its use of Robinson Park North for 2015. This was one of the agreements that we discussed at our meeting here back on March 12th. Have we come to a resolve there with this between the two parties?
Yeah.
Or-
You want me to read the email that we agreed upon, or
Sure.
it's not very long, I don't write a book, so. My name is Brian King, I'm with Rapid Fire. It says here, per our meeting tonight, which was 7 days ago from today, so last week, we had agreed in principle to the following schedule for Robinson North Park. Sundays, Rapid Fire would have the field from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. RISA would have it the rest of the day. Mondays, RISA has the field all day. Tuesday, Rapid Fire has the field all day. Wednesday, RISA. Thursday, Rapid Fire. Friday and Saturday would be a first come, first serve. So it would be open to either one of us, whoever comes. If you're there, you're there. If you're not, you have to wait. So the last thing that we have is that we would work with the Assumption Middle School as they use that as a practice facility and also as a game facility, I believe. So we just said that we would agree to work with them. They would be done before most of us get out of work anyway, so it shouldn't be a problem. So we agreed to it. We ate enough ice cream at not Herschel, it was too many years ago, at Culver's, so I guess we.
Okay.
What'd you say for Saturdays?
Fridays and Saturdays are first come, first serve.
Okay, has that agreement been made up yet too, or?
Well, no, because I had a couple questions and I don't want the whole thing to go to heck here. I'm assuming I'll just add to the RISA one that they'll have this driving north for these specific times. And then I'm gonna have another agreement with Rapid Fire that would basically allow them these times. I guess I'm wondering improvements to the field, utilities. I thought that I had heard from one of you that said you were willing to make improvements and maybe they weren't. Could you make improvements to the field? Is that okay?
We're still gonna plan on doing some improvements over there,
Okay.
so as financially able as we will, we'll add to it.
Okay.
And we can't speak for Rice, I'm not sure what their plans
Yeah.
are.
Yeah, like I said, we planned on addressing the batting cage issue over there. And then,
Okay,
but sometime like I said, we put $5,000 in the Mead field last 2 years ago. And I really would like the city to step forward and maybe help with the field if it needs dirt in it, so we don't bear that cost of the $5,000. I mean, that's just, we do it to some fields, but if the city could step up there too.
no, we're talking for Robbie North.
Both routes, if it needs it, I guess. I mean,
Okay,
I'd hate to put $5,000 in this year, or whatever amount, and then have next year another organization come. Nothing against them, I'm not,
right.
but for us.
No, I understand, I just didn't want that they're doing something one way and then, you know, I
No,
mean, you don't have an
that's
issue.
fine.
Yeah,
Right, okay.
we've decided that they've got a drag they're gonna leave over that we can use, they can use.
Okay,
There's 4 of us that are communicating between our 2 groups, and the rest of the people stay out of it, so.
okay. And then the utilities, that's all, I mean, I don't know I guess the lights are maybe not even working, so maybe the utilities aren't an issue
Well,
really
for
right
us,
now.
we would, Dave Kirkman with Fastpitch Fire. We want to use the lights if we can get them working, because we're looking at possibly having other tournament teams come in and actually doing double headers where we'd be able to do maybe one during the late afternoon and then maybe one as it gets darker. So if that's a possibility, talking with Risa that they don't plan on using electrical, but we still have the issue of the sewer and the water and all of that. The way I guess I look at it is, since we're using it 50-50, that it would be split 50-50. If the city wants to be involved in that piece and split it evenly between the 2, or if you want one agency to do it and then bill the other one for it, we're open to any of
I
that.
think the meters though are
Right
also
now, the meter
whole-
comes through us,
Yeah,
it goes through Risa, we just give it half the bill or whatever.
I mean, that's for the entire complex though,
Yeah.
the metering?
Yeah, it's just one meter for.
It's a meter for both north and
Right.
south.
Fields, yeah.
So you would split all of the utilities? for
Well,
those?
we do it for south, north, not south. We're not using south. So it doesn't make sense.
I think
for
we
us
could
to-
charge for runoff and everything too, for sewer. All year round.
Matt might have something to say. but-
Just, you had mentioned the lights before, just so it's clear, the city is looking into that, and we're gonna get a cost on what it's gonna take to repair those lights.
Yep.
Current technologies will be heading up there probably within the next couple of weeks. And there was, some pretty severe lightning strikes up there, so I'm
Mhm.
guessing we've got maybe some capacitors or transformers on this.
And we understand that, and if you need anything from our organization to help with that, let us know, and we'd be more than willing to help with that piece.
Mhm.
Probably got a truck they could borrow.
I don't know that-
Money, maybe.
I don't know how the mayor would feel
An
about that.
F-150.
I think the fire department may have some like carryover dollars or something, they might want to just graciously donate to the parks
And some
department. to,
Yeah, right.
Can I make this happen? I know the attorney's got a really tight budget, so she's tight. So.
Joe, can you talk with Hoyer and see if you can get some money from him too?
So then you're gonna pay the non-residence fee for anyone who's using it, just the same as
Exactly.
they would. I don't think there's really the sparkle and diamond dry, I would think we would just leave it there. I mean, is it generally on site, or we bring it over at times, or how
We
do they
bring it
know?
there.
So I guess,
Once we
Without
have those
giving each-
buildings secure, we could leave it on site then, but there was a problem last year with the doors up there, so.
And
but are we just giving them one, are we giving each group a pallet, or we're paying, saying for those 2 fields, there'll be one pallet of each?
Well,
is
we'll
that-
give rice oil, we always give them, and then we'll give.
And then, okay, an additional, all right.
And Joel, are you guys planning on using the concession stand at all this year on that field?
It depends, on north, no.
On north, no?
There's no water there.
And so right now, Matt, is that it's locked with a city lock? Is there a city lock on there?
One door, there's a hasp on it with a padlock, but the intent is to change those doors,
Okay.
because those doors were damaged last year, and that's why that hasp ended up on.
What our plan is because there's that equipment room and then there's the concession.
Mhm.
And that Rice would be able to have that equipment room, and we would take the concession and we'd put our equipment in that concession. So then we would have the key for that one. So then we could put whatever the half of that into that room. So then we would be able to utilize that.
Getting back to utilities, wouldn't it make sense to have them pay 25% of the utility bill?
Half was good.
Well, if they're not touching South Diamond and they only get north for half, that, in my math, is a quarter.
I would concur.
The negotiations were.
And Joe, if we do use the lights, I
Yeah.
would,
I'm just gonna put in here that you work out the utilities amongst yourselves, and if you can't, then
Okay.
see the mayor.
I'm sure. The mayor's gonna pay for
We're
it.
pulling the plug, we're pulling the plug on you to know you.
And then the mayor will see the attorney.
The last thing I see is like signs on the field, whether, I don't know if that's anything
There's
I know
no-
you both have,
There's no signs on North right
okay, but it does say that you could do that to get some revenue, and I don't know if that would be an issue with anyone who can do
That's-
that or whatever.
Yeah, that's something that we would be looking into.
Okay, so you both just
I don't know if
could be
Risa
able
plans on it
to
or
do
not.
that if you want, I guess.
Yeah, we have not planned, we took them off on the south, just because there's more people, they're using it.
So you would have issues with that if we decided to do that?
I'll pay for the utilities anyway, so go ahead, pay for the utilities that way.
Okay, I think that's all that I had.
So then we will, there,
I mean, I think it's basically just gonna be the agreement only with those things we just talked about, if you're comfortable, you
So
know,
we can-
approving it with those minor revisions.
okay.
And then
So
I can send you a copy after the fact, but I don't think we need to come back again.
we can approve it tonight.
Yeah, right.
Okay, if there's, I don't know if there's any other commissioners have any questions or any other discussion, but. So we're acting on number 3 right now, the lease agreement for rapid, fire Fastpitch for the use of Robinson Park North 2015. Then we're just gonna go down and do the same thing for Rissa, right?
Mm.
Okay.
Need a motion?
Any discussion? That would be in order, I guess.
I would make a motion that we approve the lease agreement for Rapid Fire Fastpitch for its use of Robinson Park North for 2015.
Okay, motion has been made. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Derek to approve the lease agreement with Rapid Fire Fastpitch for its use of Robinson Park North for 2015, based on your conversations.
Maybe I should amend that to include with
The
amendments
revisions.
or revisions as
Yeah.
mentioned this evening,
Right.
just to clarify that.
Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
I would make a motion to approve the amended lease agreement for Rissa, or with Rissa regarding the additional use of Robinson Park North for 2015 with revisions as mentioned this evening.
Motion has been made.
Second.
Second by Derek to approve the amended lease agreement with the Wisconsin Rapids Youth Sports Association regarding additional use of Robinson Park North for 2015. Again, based on revisions agreed upon. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
I'd like to thank the two groups for working out what I hope will be a benefit to both next year when we come back to this discussion. It should be a no-brainer, hopefully.
I'd like to comment that, you guys were fantastic. I mean, you really were, so.
Yeah, then publicly. If this happens again with another group, seriously, let us know before weeks in advance. That'd be, so we don't get bombarded right away with it, so we can work things out beforehand. It kind of hit us like a hard ball in the head, because we did not know about it until a week or 10 days before that, so.
Okay, thank you. We'll move on. Item number 5, update on the Mead Pool for the 2015 swimming season here. Executive,
I guess I really have no information on the pool itself.
Thank you.
I don't know if there's any updates on where we stand with the situation with the collaborative effort with the Y.
So the city's position is that we're still very much hoping to partner on the potential proposed YMCA facility. Obviously, they're still evaluating to what extent other partners would exist or don't exist. So that's taking them, I think, a bit of time. Obviously, there's discussions related to partners and location and some of the other pieces. So I'd imagine before too long, meaning in the next 60 days, it's safe to say we'll probably have another discussion, either at the pool ad hoc committee or aquatics ad hoc committee or at the park and rec committee level. But that's really all I've got to update. I know it's not substantial and exciting, but that's really it. I think I've had a couple of meetings with the Y just around our desire to continue to partner and to walk down that path. So that's really my update at
Okay.
this point.
Thank you. And then Matt, the condition we don't know yet, do we?
I stopped the other day and there still was a pretty good sized sheet of ice floating in it. The one thing I do wanna do though is I'm gonna have a conversation with the county and just kind of tell them where we're at and what our thoughts are and see how receptive they are, in regards to licensing. Being that we did have the violation last year, due to the jacking of the pool with the gutters not taking water all the way around. And at that time, they said, we'll revisit it. I would kind of like to get ahead of the game on that and just see where their thoughts are for this coming year.
If I can help with that, I will, just knowing.
Sure, appreciate it.
You're gonna twist some arms.
No, I'll talk.
Get the pool open. That was my son away. Open the pool.
Okay, thank you, Mayor and Matt. Okay, move on to number 6. We discussed possible improvements, park restroom facilities. I believe this would be at
I think that was in regards to Whitterfield,
Whitterfield?
right? And basically what it consisted of is replacing all the push-button metering faucets with hands-free electric, so that we'd be ADA compatible and just as an upgrade. I think the rafters were looking at that as one of the things that they would like us to have done for this coming season. So I did get an estimate on it. And you're talking 7 faucets, with materials, hookup, and labor, $4,290. So,
We wouldn't do that internally?
well, we wanted to get an estimate
I see
first,
what you're saying. Okay,
so we had a number.
I see.
So that's what we're looking at. It's possible if there's not a rush that we could use it as filler work and do the purchasing. The faucets themselves, you're talking $450 each, times 7. So.
I think when we talk about the rafters, obviously the All-Star game and the amount of traffic that would be through that facility over that period of time, but even throughout the season, obviously heavily used. All of us that use it, it's kind of a disaster in the bathrooms. I don't know, I don't use the women's bathroom, so I can't say Jackie. The men's bathroom is, just minor improvements to the facility is going to be a big upgrade for them.
So is that the cost of the city, or do the Raptors pay for that upgrade as well, since they're the home
Well,
team, or?
it's a question of whether it's considered maintenance work.
Okay.
So it would be maintenance, it would be a cost to the city. That's why I questioned, so maybe Matt would bring back I think it's safe to say there isn't a rush on it. It could happen as filler work.
Well, and the other thing is, I guess just to meet the ADA requirement, if we had to, we could just install one hands-free in each bathroom if we decided that the cost was, because I don't think the push-button old meterings meet the ADA requirement.
No.
So,
So it'd be closer to $3,000.
Mhm.
And if you did internal.
and we also planned on, as our stock of the old style paper toweling over there is depleted, is to upgrade that to what we're putting in the other facilities, the hands-free paper toweling, which I'm guessing sometime this year will be depleted of the old style. And I would guess we would, I don't know what the breakout is, but I would assume we'd be talking Park outlay or Whitterfield, outlay, depending on how much money is left in Whitterfield outlay after some of these other projects.
Do we get an update on where those balances are at, the outlay?
I'll get something from Tim, yeah.
Okay.
And because it's maintenance, it may not have to come back for full park and rec
Correct.
either. So if it doesn't come back and we wonder why it didn't come back and it was done, there might be because of the maintenance caveat.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Is that the only one, Matt, that's really kind of outstanding, or the other? I haven't been in any other facilities to know, I guess, either.
You're talking in regards to other parks?
Yeah, we got
No,
facilities at Santa
there's
Monica
other
and
parks that
need as well.
will need some work.
Do we have a capital sort of, just a snapshot of what kind of is on the horizon?
Yeah, we do. I don't have numbers associated with it, but I have a priority list of what facilities will need
Okay.
work in that
We're
regard.
just moving into the next item, obviously, we're gonna have to make a decision or consider a decision on spending some serious dollars, to what extent other priorities are out there.
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
So these new faucets will save money too,
water usage though? or-
No, the metering one's shut off, but like I said, the big thing is they don't meet ADA, and the other thing is every year you're constantly adjusting them because they run too long or they don't run long enough, and
They get stuck.
They
I
get
walk
stuck.
in there, they're always running. So maybe they would save water if they're.
yeah, in that regards. What happens at Whitterfield is, the water main is very, very shallow, so we have to blow it out every year. And when you refill it, you break loose a bunch of stuff from the pipes, and the first 3-4 weeks of the season, stuff sticks, stuff doesn't shut off, stuff leaks. And you go back up there and you clean it out, and eventually it settles down as the season goes on.
Okay, any other discussion or comments? Okay, we move into item number 7, discussion and approval of the zoo parking lot estimate, which I believe, Matt, you have.
Well, what's gonna happen next is Joe's working on the design phase. And he's talking probably 2 months for an actual design. And then you will get your actual, be able to get the bids from the asphalt people. But I have a breakdown of what he came up with as far as, how the money is split up for the project. He's looking at 345 tons of asphalt at 22,425, some road base at 8,800, curb and gutter, 4,500, topsoil grading and seeding, $580, subgrading, $4,950, tree removal, $2,000, common excavation, $1,830, and then all your engineering work and contingency money be about 28%, so you're looking at about 45, and that's how you come to that 70,000 total.
So everything but the asphalt are hard costs from the city, and the city.
Yeah,
your-
after we discussed this, after our last meeting, like the tree removal and your rough upgrading and all that would be done by the city.
Mm.
And he gave it a project number, and he's trying to get it scheduled now and come up with a design. So that's kind of where we're sitting with that. And this would be a fall project
Okay.
after the zoo would close.
And typically you won't see asphalt prices until the end of April, May, because they don't know what their prices are. at.
Right.
Their petroleum products are.
And they're gonna want a final design to actual bid on it, so.
I guess I'm in favor of holding off on a final decision on it, given some of the other pieces. I think it's important to get the design. The design will be
Mhm.
relevant for whenever we decide to do it.
Yep.
As much as I personally want to get it done, I think it's a part of a broader kind of fundraising effort for improvements at the zoo. We know that we've got to put some capital in there with whether it's an extra fence or replacement of the fence, some of the other internal improvements maybe to the buildings that are there. Maybe there's enhancements down in the zoo house, given that it's our most reserved facility and our nicest facility. Maybe we want to do other things there too. To just decide to do a new parking lot might be some other things to leverage some other financing sources from grants or other donations, maybe.
Could you remind me about the fence? Did we approve that being installed, that secondary barrier? We talked about that last.
We did, and we got a price on it, and
I don't remember where that ended up.
I don't recall if we actually approved that or not.
No.
I don't think
Discussed it, did we?
we put it on the list of improvements under park outlay.
Okay.
I think to get back to Derek's comments though, you find out what's in the park outlays and come back, and then you can prioritize what you want to do with all the parks. I know there's a Whitterfield outlay, and there's also a general parks outlay.
Correct.
Which is room tax funded, right? But the
Right,
parks
and the
outlay-
Whitterfield one is funded by the
Cell
cell
phone.
tower,
Yep.
so
Cell tower.
it'd be good to know where all those balances sit, and
Right.
then you can make decisions after you get a parking lot plan.
And with Whitterfield, that'll be changing shortly because we went through the process and did the approval for the improvements at Whitterfield, so I don't know where we sit with that quite yet because a few of those projects have to be done yet, so,
On the ballpark?
yeah. Mhm. And then the second installment payment for the painting is coming up. That'll be completed shortly, and then a decision will have to be made on the other painting on the backside.
Any questions or discussion?
I guess I just would move to postpone this item, I don't know if we want to postpone it until like a June meeting. That would give us some time for the design, and then if the design isn't completed, we can take it up either then or in July. But to postpone it for no sooner than a June discussion.
Good second.
That would be enough time for Joe then.
He said somewhere in the neighborhood of 2 months. I don't know if
That
they
would
hold
be
him hard and fast to that, but that's what he was guessing.
Or late June.
Okay, that was a motion made. Colleen, second, okay. To hold the approval here for the zoo parking lot until later into a June meeting when we can get more of the details. So, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. We move into staff reports.
Yeah, just kind of an update on some of the stuff that Mary and I were going over. Working on the program guide for the summer, just kind of finalizing that. And then I did get the survey out on it's actually on our website. It's a link kind of hidden on our website for the people that have participated in our programming. And we've been getting a lot of responses on that. And then the next one is going to be sent out kind of to the general
How are you
public.
just distributing it?
Via email. It's a link on our website. And then actually getting a link from, or a list from Nick.
Oh.
The mayor's office, and we're gonna send that list probably this week yet. The survey, just the general part, or recreation survey.
Okay.
Hopefully we'll get good response from that one too. We'll see what people would like to have us provide.
So that was a broad survey based on our rec programming, right?
One was specific for people that had participated, and then the second one is gonna be just kind of a general, what would you like to see, and
Okay.
that type of thing.
Okay. I was just thinking from another distribution mechanism, probably get in a community update in the future.
If there's any other lists that you can think of, I think Nick said the list that he had, which was the one that we did the open house at Christmas time, was that list. I thought he said about 600.
Do you know how many people have responded to the survey to date?
So far, I think I checked this morning, we were at like 30.
Okay.
So, but there was a problem with the link at first when we sent it out, so now it's fixed. We've been getting them in. Probably send a reminder out.
2 surveys, one of which people participated and one of which
Right.
is a general survey.
Right,
to the
kind of a
general
feedback one
public.
first for the
Oh,
people that
okay.
have, and then, but that one also has things on it that they would like to see, so. And then we can get a report from that, and if you guys wanna see it, we can bring that to a meeting too in the future. I don't know when we'll close it, we'll probably let it go for a little while, so we can get good response. Go from there.
Do they respond to any kind of a survey after they've participated, like right immediately? You know what
I
I mean?
don't think they have them do anything like that, but we probably could do that as well, like a
I
hard
mean, you
copy,
get-
you mean?
Well, no, even, you know, if they sign up for a babysitting class, for example, and then the class is over and they get a little email saying thanks for attending, would you take a minute to
That'd be very easy to do.
do an exit
Actually,
ticket and,
I'll
I don't know, I just,
That,
give you
no, that
instant
would be good.
feedback.
Yep. And now that we actually have the survey kind of set, I mean, it's a general one that we could use for probably any class, so that would be good. Idea.
Okay, any
That's
other
all
questions
I
for Dawn? Thank you. Matt?
Since our last meeting 7 days ago, we did do one of our JDI Just Do It projects that kind of filtered out through going through the rapid improvement program. And the one we did was the rocks up at Robinson Park. We rearranged how they sat in there, we changed the spacing, and we're gonna move a gate, and we ended up probably eliminating a third of the rocks that were up there. Took, I think, 2 or 3 tandem loads of rock out of there. So what that's gonna do is it actually looks better because they were kind of like this all over the place, and it's gonna reduce our mowing and string trimming times considerably, so. We completed that, we just have to move the gate yet.
Where do you
And
move the rock?
we stockpile it out at the pit.
Pretty good pile of boulders now.
And then we, as I mentioned earlier, obviously this weather might change things a little bit, but the painters were supposed to be done Wednesday up at Witter. And when they're done, we want to try to get going up there and get the seating put back in as soon as possible. Because April, they'll be starting to play up there. So depending what the weather does next week, we'll be getting on that. We just finished another auction and people are picking stuff up. Started pretty hard and heavy today. And we actually started leaf sweeping this week too, but again, we all know what happens, so that's the end of that for a little bit. So that's what we've been up to.
Swept yesterday, plowed today.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, any questions of Matt? Thank you, Matt.
Kelly?
Yes, Jim.
One thing I'd like to talk about.
Mhm.
We met with the Bird City USA people,
Mhm.
and they want to try a pilot project in one of our parks to do something to control the geese from coming into the parks. And we kind of mutually agreed on trying something in Demet's Park, which is right across from the hospital. Probably our worst goose area anyway. One of the techniques that the DNR recommends is you let the grass grow longer or plant rows of shrubs so the geese can't see any distance and then they don't feel safe in there eating grass. So this year we thought we would try leaving the grass somewhere close to the river's edge, grow to about 2 feet high, and maybe try the fishing line fence that they don't like to crawl under. And just as a pilot program, see how that works to deter the geese from coming in. And we would work with the first house there, Nick Marty lives there. He's got a herd of geese in his yard a lot of the time too, so work with him and see if we can keep the geese out of that area if it's agreeable to everybody.
I think we were talking with Jim about maybe 10 to 15 feet strip from the riverbank.
And we would sign it saying what was going on there so people understood we weren't just missing that strip.
It could be a prairie.
So, what are those riparian buffers that you gotta have on lakes, like,
Yeah.
oh, that kind of stuff? Okay,
So just so you know, there will be a strip of tall grass in that park and we are gonna oil their eggs again next week, starting next week, and see if we can get them under control.
Thanks, Jim.
thank you. Okay, I don't think, we'll move on to the bills. I don't think anybody looked at any bills. We probably don't have any since 7 days ago.
I think we do.
I think we do.
Not very many, but here's the list, and then here's the actual bills. Let's take a look.
Colleen, if you wanted to do.
Well, just looking at the bills, if I may, a couple of future agenda items, Dawn, maybe for us to consider. I know
Thank you.
I get an email and I take a second email to respond to your request for agenda items, but definitely get on the outlay balances. I think we want to have a discussion about what's in the outlay accounts for us to consider. And then I'd like to maybe think about setting some direction maybe for Matt as it relates to capital projects and starting to kind of, I know it's early, but we always got to be thinking about budget throughout the year, and probably never too early to begin thinking about what capital projects we'd like to consider for those dollars, whether it's the parking lot or other things. We may have some hopes, dreams, and aspirations for different things, and it'd be a good idea to maybe just start brainstorming on some of those items. And then as the weather gets nice, I know Chad always pushes us for meeting at a park, and I don't know where we want to do our first road show this year for our meeting, but
And as we warm out.
yeah, I'm agreeing. So maybe we'll pay attention to the April weather and see what happens around that time. Matt, what's open in late April? Could we do Zoo House or did we do Zoo House? I missed that.
It's kind of weather dependent when we open.
Okay.
The way that it's looking so far, we're gonna probably try to get water up at Witter here shortly. And then after that one's up and running, then we'll kind of go through the other ones.
It might be a decent time to look at the improvements that, between the painting and some of the other projects, about a month out, we're gonna be in a better position to get close to probably finishing those up, you think? So maybe at Witter.
Take a look at the bathroom.
See what the bathrooms. Jackie wants to check out the men, she said, so. Let her peek at it. I don't need to, but that's all right.
It's easy, Roscoe.
That's You could have tried out for us on Saturday.
Maybe.
Okay. You gotta wear costumes, so I wouldn't know if you were there. I'm judging, so I just.
You are?
Yeah.
Material that breaks
We
off.
should have like a handshake.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Mayor.
We're behind sheet about that.
And I guess if there's any others, those are just some things that come to mind. And maybe the piece on the survey too, if we want to actually just review it, review the questions, review the responses, maybe.
Or even like, I just am worried about response rate. I was gonna comment on that earlier, but I just hope that we have enough people responding that are actually, one, using it, and then I hope the general public responds too, because it might increase, you know.
Right, and I hope we can get a good mix of age groups and
Right.
everything too, so.
Well, that YPN list has got a lot of people on that,
Yeah,
so that
that's
would be a
true.
good group to just tap into if the city's looking for feedback on young professionals network list.
Sure, and it is kind of hidden on our website, so if they don't have the link, they
I can
probably
f-
wouldn't.
Do you have a Facebook?
I can forward you the YPN distribution.
Okay.
list if you want.
Maybe the city page.
I'd make a motion to approve the bills.
Okay, motion was made by Colleen, to approve the bills.
I'll second that.
Second by Greg. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have that. Adjourn, anybody?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Motion made, second to adjourn, all in favor?
Aye.
No, opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you, everyone.
Oh, this is